Hey, hey, how are you? Hi. I'm just playing around with a filter. Hi, how are you? This is Elisan. So, I'm the founder of this thriving Facebook group, the Spiritual Entrepreneurs, where I am hosting more than 18,000 members from around the world. So, I'm right now here in Singapore, and these couple of days the haze has been back, and so there isn't really much you can do except to just stay home and take care of yourself and just meditate and think about life. And that's what I've been doing. And if you have been following my journey, you know that I am at this period where I'm really doing a lot of self-reflection. And one might think, when is this ever going to end? And the answer is no, it never ends. And the interesting part is, every time you break a shadow or you become aware of something that you're not aware of, and you're like, oh my God, this is it, right? This is the biggest shadow I've ever broken, and this is the biggest awareness that I need to know. And then life is all good. And then boom, another thing happens. And so if you are unconscious, then, life is happening to you. But if you are a spiritual seeker and seeking to improve your life, then you know that life is responding to you and life is happening to you, right? And so therefore the journey never ends, because the minute you uncover one conscious belief system, the next one shows up. Because you know why? We are always thinking, and we are always attracting and evolving, and we are always wanting more. And therefore it's like this cycle of karma. The law of cause and effect doesn't change. How does a belief system form? A belief system is formed when it becomes a habit, and then it unconsciously goes into your unconscious, and then you act out and make decisions from that place. And the unconscious is illogical. There's no reasoning around this. And so therefore you can heal all you want, but why is the old patterns returning? You can chant your mantras all you want, you can work on your shadow all you want, but sometimes there's a deeper layer in the shadow. And that's what's happening for me. And so you thought like, oh my God, I've worked on my inner child. How come the same situation sort of like pops up again? Because there's so much layers to this, and therefore the work is never ending. And this is the beauty side of this. So today I want to talk about, what if you really hated yourself? And this concept really came because I have a lot of time now to think, and everybody in the social on social media, in the spiritual industry, and in this like positive thinking, oh, you have to think positive, you gotta love yourself, and you gotta just mantra your way and don't say bad things and this and that, right? But the thing is, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's superficial stuff. Have you ever asked yourself, why do you need to love yourself? Why is it so bad to hate yourself and be angry and be sad and be jealous and all that kind of thing? And this is where it goes into the shadow side, because we deny that side of us, and we only want the good self. We only want the good side. But the whole part of us, it includes the bad side and the good side, and that makes it whole. You can't just cut into half and just say, I don't want the bad side, because that is you. And the more you deny that side, the more it becomes that point of attraction. So the key is to accept yourself. And on the contrary, how do you know how to love yourself when you don't know how to hate? How do you know how to be happy? How do you identify the emotion of being happy when you don't know what sad or anger feels like? So I think a lot of us are sweeping the dust under the carpet. We are avoiding the real pain. We are avoiding the situation. That is why there's so many unhappy people walking around. That's why people are stuck in their jobs, in a relationship, or just stuck, just in general. So today I invite you to really hate yourself. Like, oh my God, that's like a taboo language. You can't say that. Like, you can't hate yourself. Like, especially now when the time is accelerating, and you don't want to have instant karma. You don't want to instant manifest situations like this. But hang on, chill. Let's take a back seat. Spirituality, psychology is not just black and white. we have this divine higher intelligence, right? And you must believe this higher intelligence wants you to succeed. And so therefore you are setting the intention to break free. You are setting the intention to love by learning how hate feels like. You see the point? It's like I used to bitch and complain and just be very random with life because that's just the way I was wired, and I didn't know anything else like what I could do, right? So here's the thing. The intention was to hurt unconsciously. The intention was to, I don't know, like cause someone else's hurt by being angry. Do you know what I mean? Like punishing someone else. So, but this time, your intention is to experience love by learning how to hate and experiencing hate. So why things are not moving forward and why things are not going fast enough for you? Because you're just basically sweeping the dust under the carpet and rearranging your furniture. And this requires courage to actually look pain and fear in its eye. So yesterday, I just decided to do this exercise, and please feel free to do this. And I judged, and people are like, oh, don't judge other people because you're really judging yourself and all the yada, 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 right? But what if those judgments, excuse me, the door just slammed. The door is judging me. So what if those judgments, what if those fears has a message for you, but you're like, oh my God, those are like really bad energy. Like, oh my God, I should just stay away and not look at it. What if it actually has a message for you and you're not listening? And then here you're thinking, oh my God, God's not listening to me. The angels have forsaken me and blah, 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 right? But what if these feelings are your higher self speaking to you? Because obviously, unless you are clairaudient, there will be another voice like, don't do this. But first of all, you may not want to have this other voice, don't do this, because it'll scare the shit out of you. So it's not happening, right? So what if these feelings have a story? And the reason why you're triggered is because it has something to say and you're not listening. And so therefore you're constantly triggered and constantly banging your head on the wall until you're like, you know what, I'm done. And I call this the pissing point. And so if you're like, oh my God, I need to love myself, I need to go for these massages, I need to heal myself, and I need to la, and still it's not working, then go the other way. Like I teach people the unconventional way, right? Like just learn how to hate yourself. Because once you know what you actually hate yourself about, like you know, change starts with awareness. When you have the awareness, then you have the choice and the freedom to change. Otherwise, then what are you changing? What does love mean? Like what? Why do I even want a man? Because everyone else says so? Because I need to procreate, so I need a man? Who says you need a man in this era or to get married to procreate? Have you not heard of test tube babies? Have you not? So think about why are you thinking this way. So to cut the long story short, I was thinking, you know what? I actually judged those people who married the rich men. And I'm thinking, why do I judge them so much? Yes, I want that lifestyle too. And I was denying that side of me, and I judged those women for marrying those rich men. So instead of judging them, it's something that I truly desire. So what is it that I desire? I desire to be rich. I desire to be famous. I don't want to lie about this. And I desire to contribute. I desire to play a much bigger game. I desire to have more money and build, have a business that, I desire that. That means I need to really hustle. I need to do this, and I really do not like where I am right now. I really sort of like quote unquote hate my life. I do not like the body that I'm in. I'm taking full responsibility. I'm not saying that you shirk responsibility, but first that awareness has to begin. So I'm not exactly happy with the body I'm in right now because I'm not doing certain things, and I really do not enjoy where my business is at. I just hate it, and I just sat in the idea like I really, really hate my life. I really do. And so you sit in that vibration, you sit in that energy, and I really hate myself until you get to the pissing point. Then you do something about it. All right, you know what? I am so freaking and sick and tired of where I am right now. Okay, so tell me what I need to do to get out of this situation. So if you are not going to look at your situation in the eye and like, oh my God, I really love myself, I'm just going to get another Botox. No, not that I do, but I'm going to get another Botox. I'm going to make my boobs bigger. I'm going to do a butt lift. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But you're just filling the void. You're not solving the situation of why you're unhappy with yourself in the first place. Then what are you solving? You can't solve a problem with no problem, right? You can't get to a place where you don't even know where the hell you are right now. So sit in the vibration of acknowledging the fact that you really hate your life. You hate that you don't have as many clients as you desire. You hate your bank account that it doesn't have as many zeros as you desire. You hate your the weighing scale. You hate the number on the weighing scale. You hate it. You absolutely hate it. So at first I'm like, oh my God, what if I harbor this energy and then life starts to give me more of what I hate? Remember what I said about the intention. The intention is to discover yourself. God is not an idiot, right? Your angels are not stupid. They know why you make this intention so that you can love. And therefore, you must be willing to walk through this path. It's not easy because it has to go through all the yucky emotions, and we all tend to avoid pain. So it's not going to just have this breakthrough just overnight like this, for sure. So give yourself some time. And, for those of us who are running a business, of course, we are worried about our cash flow and all that kind of thing. But I'm saying this that serves a reminder to myself as well. When you're aligned with your mission and you do your work, God can change a situation for you overnight. So stay in your path, mind your own business, and just to let you know that the energies are pouring in with so much intensity. I believe this really reminded me of the energy just before 2012, the whole hype thing, the world is going to end. I think this is like a little bit of that period because a new era of energy is coming in. Like you can see there's this quickening of people awakening right now, right? Like suddenly everybody's spiritual. 10 years ago when I did this, like, oh, are you crazy? But now everybody's like the in thing, the mindfulness and all that. So really, there's this quickening of awareness. The veil, the invisible veil has been lifted. So what's the veil? It's like when we go into reincarnation, we walk into this veil of amnesia so that we forget our souls. We forget how good life is on the other side so that we can actually concentrate on our human lessons, our human project, right? The project human. So if you can remember how life was so good in the past or how life was so good in your mommy's tummy, then you will actually not serve the purpose as you are right now. So if you are struggling, know that that's the soul's lesson and just learn it and get over it, and that's just it is. But of course I understand when you're going through it's like so much pain, but understand that if you're not dead, then all is well. So what I was going to say, but yeah, this is what I want to say. So go through this challenge and know that you're going to walk out of this with a brand new belief system about yourself, and life is going to be so much sweeter. And so I was going to talk about this quickening. There is this sense of quickening. The time has accelerated, and so every week I'm going through I don't need to read the astrology for it. I'm a human just like tapping into the energy. So I don't know how to read the stars, but I follow my body, and right now it's like you really have no choice but to work on what's really holding you back and going to the truth of you. I know it's crazy, right? Why do we go through this period, this veil of amnesia, and then trying to remember this whole entire thing? That's what it's called, the journey, growth, the spiritual growth. So it's ironic, but that's just the way God has designed it to be. And so we just have to play by His game and know that we are all divinely guided. And no matter what happens, God still has our back because this is part of the plan. So right now, this week, it's really forcing us in a good way to look and deal with our own crap. And let me assure you, this journey doesn't end. But this is the beginning of the period. It's called the initiation phase. And it will just get easier even though, shit hits the fan. It will get easier. and get used to it. Fall in love with this process. The more you resist it, the more shit is gonna hit the fan. So might as well enjoy the journey and know and fall in love with basically discovering who you are. Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with getting to know yourself, right? This is like this dating time. You know, like we are so obsessed with the dating period and we want to like, you know, be in the honeymoon period all the time. But when is the last time you actually took time out to fall in love with yourself and get to know yourself, right? I mean, it's like the same thing with relationships. You go into this like honeymoon period and then you start picking faults of the guy and the girl. So now it's like the honeymoon period's over because you're not a baby anymore, and then now you're picking faults in yourself. Like, this is ridiculous. So anyway, this is what I'm working towards, like the soul, spiritual, psychology, mixing spirituality, practical spirituality and psychology together so that you can actually implement in your life, right? Because spirituality can go really way up there, woo-woo, and psychology can go like, what are you talking about? So my thing is about making it really simple and practical. I mean, seriously, who can meditate 6 hours a day? I mean, we've got jobs and, you know, things to do. That's not practical. That's just not. So how can you then meditate and still have clarity in your mind living in, you know, the city life? I'm a city girl, you know, and I used to think I want to go live up in the mountains and just avoid the human beings. And this is not a spiritual practice, by the way. This is just avoiding the situation. The real spiritual practice is to practice spirituality and be spiritual amongst those who are not spiritual, because that's the real lesson and that's the real trigger. And that is why you become spiritual in the first place. It's not to hang out in the nunnery and the monks, the monastery and milah all day long, because there's no lesson, there's no growth. And remember, if you are a healer and you're a coach or you are a transformational leader of some sort, then you have to be put amongst the people who don't get it so that you can help them get it. And if you run away from the pain and the triggers, then you're not really helping anyone. So the real spirituality begins when you are able to remain your calm and be collected amongst those who don't get you and not get triggered. That's the real lesson. Alrighty, people, I just thought I'll pop in. It's my Monday today. Pop in on a Monday to give you this message, because I always like to give people message on Monday so that they can be prepared for the rest of the week. So as what I am feeling right now, I feel like the entire week will be more of you working on yourself. Don't worry about what your business, your life, or life will just go through what life wants to go through. Like, no matter what you're going through, the sun will still set today. For me, right? The sun is going to rise for you in like the next couple of hours, but the sun will set. You know, the sun will rise, and that's something out of our control. So the only person you can control and manage is you. Life will still go on. So therefore, work on yourself. As what I've seen, what I feel, more challenges would be brought up to the surface so that you can get to know more about you. That's all it is. So that's what I foresee coming up this week. So be prepared. We are all here for you, and I'm also here for you. Tag me in the group if you want to share something, if you're going through any challenges. And just to let you know that my school of Philosophy will be ready for enrollment very, very soon. And this is a school that I'm really proud of. I started the spiritual school of money not too long ago, and the soul is guiding me to do more soul work, and there'll be more channel readings in the group. I know channel readings are not everything, but some people just need guidance. I need divine guidance as well to know if I'm going through the right direction or not. That's why God allowed card readers, right? And channels. And that's what it's all about. So I'm really excited for this. So, and stay tuned for my weekly philosophy as well. It's really exciting. And all right, I think I've been talking too much already. This is Elise and signing out. See you soon. Bye-bye.